Today I wanted to rewatch this video I made sometime before moving to Mexico. I was going through quite a bit of feelings around friendships because at that time it really felt like another period where no one was around. Of course I have people, but when the people that are in your closest vicinity that you do the most things with, those relationships start falling apart, it doesn't feel like it. I found this video and I was like, oh, kind of crazy behavior, a little erratic. I was very erratic in this video, so I just wanted to go through it and add in my 2 cents whilst we watch it. I wanted to go over and add perspective of how I feel now in this situation, now that it's over and done with, and also address certain feelings I was having. It's much easier to not see the light at the end of the tunnel when you're currently going through a situation that feels like it has no endpoint. Also, like, repeat situations, because there's always something. There's always gonna be an issue. There's always gonna be a conflict with somebody. Feeling history repeat itself sucks. Not only did it feel like history was repeating itself, it was a difficult time period. I was also just going through not feeling like I had anybody, not feeling like I had any friends. I was reading The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and I came up with 3, I forgot what I called them, but basically 3 standards for my life, or 3 needs that I need to feel like a whole person, to feel mentally stimulated and happy. Friends, financial stability, and things to do. And at that time, I literally only had financial stability. When some of those things are out of whack, when one thing is out of whack, I feel crazy. 2 things. So how do you think I feel when it's 3 things? Right. In this case, it was 2 things and it felt awful. But perspective does change a person. Perspective, age, and that frontal lobe developing, it changes a person. Mind you, this was a little bit before I came to Mexico, so I was still in my grown-ass age. However, I was going through this situation in my grown-ass age. So I got a clue about a thing or 2, and I wanted to share that with all of you. Oh my gosh, did that rhyme? Dr. Seuss who? Okay. Hey guys, not look cute either. Okay, I deleted Instagram. I was in the gym, and I posted a TikTok. And nobody liked it, as I was saying. Nobody liked it. And it's not about the fact that people did not like it. I'm not a slave to the algorithm. I don't care if I don't get an X amount of likes. It's not me. That's never been me. However, what I think is so hilarious about watching this back, because I've watched this back a couple times because I've been trying to figure out how I want the format of this video to be until I came to this. When I was watching that bit, I was like, wow, this is really cringy. This is really cringe cakes. For whomever can relate, when you're in a situation that just literally makes you feel insane and you're trying to reason with yourself and get your emotions out that you've buried deep within yourself, I feel like it comes out as sewage, and that's kind of what this whole video was. I talk about this a bit with friends, my fiance and stuff, like, what you're upset about is valid to a certain extent, but if you have a genuine concern and it upsets you, the way you come off and the way you project that concern to other people makes it the issue. There have been a lot of situations with friends in my life where it's like, you know, what I was upset about was valid. However, I can see how crashing out was not the answer. This video was my form of crashing out, but that's the thing. It's better that I said it to the video rather than to a person, because you sound stupid. You sound stupid and you sound like you're just talking out of your ass about anything. Thank you. When people that are on my Instagram are friends or were friends or supposedly are my friends don't engage with the shit I do, I'm like, first of all, I'm not a performer for the general public, because that's what these people have become, the general public. Two, it feels weird to me to be showing my life to a group of people that I don't resonate with, and don't speak to me and don't check up on me and do not speak to me unless I speak to them first, okay? It's giving bitter baby mama right now. You know what's so funny about that? Like my tone switch, and I do this quite often. I get really upset about something, and then the tone switch for me, when I look back on it with like some sense, I realize it's me being able to accept the emotions I'm feeling. It's kind of like the 5 stages of grief, or whatever you want to call it. I just get so angry, and then it's like things are just coming out of my mouth like sewage, anger, whatever. And then when I chill, it's like, oh wait, I'm actually really sad and my feelings are really hurt. And I guess to a certain extent, when that's done, it's like not trying to accept that your feelings actually, like you're feeling your feelings and it actually hurts you. I think when we do that, it's putting up a barrier for ourselves to feel like we're in control of the emotions that we dislike. Yeah. I promise I have come to terms with this and made peace with the fact that I've outgrown people. A lot of people I knew do not align with me and never aligned with me. And like the fact that a lot of people that claim to care just did not care, or my level of care for other people does not match up, and that's fine. That's fine. But my thing is, I've never gone out with the specific group of people I was thinking about when I was making this video. I was able to acknowledge, well, this is not only a problem with them, this is a problem that hurts me generally, and I really noticed it with them. I don't like fakeness when you're trying to interact with people, because it's like, you know, if someone's not for you, they are not for you. You don't need to force something. I've always had an issue with people acting like they care and not really caring. You know what? This is half a me problem, half in like society, why do we do this issue? Because at the end of the day, people can be friendly and not want to be your friend, because it's easy to mistake friendliness as we should be friends. And that's when you kind of need to use your discernment and be like, okay, well, they're cool, but do I really need to attempt anything with them? Because listen, making new friends is literally the same as dating. Like, you have to go through all this shit with new people, and it's really just like, that takes a lot of energy out of you. And friendship is different than dating, whereas I feel like there's less at stake, or less you have to pay attention to, because if you're dating someone, you can get married, have kids together, have a mortgage together, all this together. But when you're friends with someone, that's like the chance of just being friends for literally ever. So there's different stakes in it. So because there's not certain pressures, you're going into it more loosely, less serious, and it's just fun. But because you also think of the person as being around forever, when it doesn't end well, it really sucks. But that's why I'm like, you really need to use discernment. I need to use discernment now. I just posted a TikTok. I've been talking to my fiance about it a lot, but I am genuinely scared to make new friends. I am. I have some friends, but like I said, I moved. They're miles away. And being here, I've been trying to be social and whatnot, what have you, but making new friends legitimately terrifies me. And I'm trying to, you know, keep faith up, believe in God. He will put the people in my life that need to be in my life and should be in my life. And I really don't want anything in desperation either, because you're just gonna get what's not right for you. But it scares me. It scares me because I don't want more people to hate me. I don't. It's just like, I don't want to make new friends because I don't want new people that I really loved and cared about to hate me. So when it comes to like making new friends, or like people talking to you or making it seem like they want to hang out. You don't need to do that. You can be friendly with someone without posing it as something that you're really gonna do. When something is put on my radar, I start paying attention to it. And I went to this like well-fed social thing. It was like a group dinner thing and with strangers. And I was not into it. I wasn't. But I was friendly. I was nice. Everybody was nice. But I was like, I'm not gonna get any contacts from this, whatever. But I can have a good time. And I noticed, like, you don't have to push it. I feel like when you're younger, you push it when you don't have to. It can just be like, bye, on with our day. Nobody like try to force contacts, no, nothing. We didn't really vibe and we knew that, but like we can have a conversation. Being able to be friendly, have a conversation, and not vibe, two things can be true at once. So I feel like that's more of an adult mindset. Like you can just talk to people and then go on with your day, no hard feelings. But mind you, these group of people were younger than me. I'm 26, they were like 20 to 23. It is a difference, but I'm gonna continue because I'm pretty sure I touch on some of this in the next part. Out of my way to fake care about somebody. Like, if I don't want to do something, I won't pretend I want to do something. If I don't want to hang out with someone, I won't pretend I want to hang out with them. Like, you'll never hear me say, oh yeah, we should hang out if I don't want to hang out with you. You'll never hear me say that, ever. Why? Because why put that into the air if that's not how I feel? Why make it seem like I would hang out with you if I don't want to? I feel like that's what people do to me. I just don't get it. I just want to let it be known I am not holier than thou. I have certainly done that in my lifetime. We all have. But since I've gotten older, I haven't done that. Primarily because in this time period, I was selective with who I was around. So if I did want to hang out with you, I genuinely did. But I did stop doing that at a certain point, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I've never done that. Of course I've done that, but I don't do it anymore because it's just like, I don't get it. Because I wouldn't do that. My whole life, when I finally felt like I was making friends, I felt like the person that was just there to be entertainment, but never get deeper than that. But I discover about myself that I just care deeply about people, and I would prefer to have relationships where people also care deeply about me. However, I always want to be treated how I like treating people. And so far, many of the people I have come across just don't share that same value. With all that being said, I feel like that also goes into age a little bit. It's good to have values, it's good to have standards, but you are less strict on your standards when you're younger. Mind you, I was around a lot of younger people. Just from what I've noticed, and I'm sure other people in their older 20s can vouch for, is it's different. The puberties are different. The puberties in your 20s are insanely different. I would not fuck with 23-year-old me. I would not. I started really vibing with myself when I became 24. And that was still a work in progress until 25. I really feel now like I'm solidly getting into my final form. It's just that when you get at a certain point in your 20s, when your brain just does a flip, and you know, for some people that happens earlier, but for most, it really doesn't. So when you get to that point in your 20s, when your brain just, the light bulb turns on, there's just certain things where it's like, yeah, people in their early 20s do that because they're stupid, and it's like they just don't think. You just don't think at that age as much as you think now. And I think that's the difference. I think a lot, and I pay more care and attention to things than I did before. I use my discernment, I use my brain, I use my morals a lot more. It's not really go with the flow. It's like, what is this actually gonna do for me? And am I wasting my time? Do I even want to do it? Honestly, I really never liked going out clubbing, but I would in my early 20s. Sometimes, not very often, but sometimes. Now, rarely. You will rarely catch me out, and especially clubs. It's different. So that's not to say this specific group of people I was thinking about are bad people. It's just like, at the end of the day, you think about certain things less at certain points in your life. And the people I was around were not thinking heavily about that. And you know what? It's also not at certain ages. It's just like who you are as a person. So I attribute that to both things. I forgot where I was going, but I'll start with this point. With growing up and having years of experience in this field, friends have always been important to me because I did not have friends when I was younger. I also did not have family. I don't want to get into family, but basically, like, I wanted friends so bad because I just didn't have anybody at home. I just didn't make friends until college, like actual friends. And then because I spent so many years up until college, like not having friends or not really developing well socially because I spoke to people, but I was just like not, I don't know how to explain it. Essentially, once I got into college, I had to figure myself out. I had to figure out how to interact with people. I had to figure out how to be a person, maneuver through my emotions, all that. So I wasn't the best. Who is in their early 20s? Yeah, so I've also been through like years of therapy, been on medication on and off, blah, blah, blah. So I've been able to really dig deep into myself and understand different parts of myself that I would prefer not to understand, but I must. I do attribute how I grew up to be a big contributor to why friends are so important to me, and also why it's also very hard for me. I really did not have actual friends until college. That is a long span of time. I'm not saying I didn't have any friends, but I vividly remember always feeling like I had nobody. And that is a feeling that creeps up for me now, and I'm really trying to fight against it because it's really not reality. But back then, like middle school, it just felt like I was around a bunch of people that would rather be around somebody else. And then high school, I had one girl I was pretty much friends with, but she was unsatisfactory. But I was friends with her because we like did a lot of the same things, and it's just like she liked me, and I didn't feel as like I liked her, but she was like kind of mean. So, but like we were cool, like we were fine, and she was pretty much the only friend I had. But I also didn't really spend much time with her all the time. So a lot of the times I was by myself. And until college, I really just didn't have interactions. So it's like when you just dig deep into your past, you can see how things just affect you in adulthood. And that's why it's really important for me to really use my brain and realize what works for me, what doesn't work for me. I want to take a period to just be by myself, not really go out of my way to force interactions with people. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and that's okay. I just want the shackles to loosen just a tad, just a smidgen. The shackles of wanting genuine friendship. I think it's normal to want genuine friendship, but I think I have always come at it from a root of desperation, which I am over. I'm so over it, and I think that's been my main issue. But with years of experience, I learned, and I evolved. And where I'm at now, because I'm making such a huge move, it's like I really don't have time for bullshit. I have my best friend and my boyfriend. My best friend, I really don't talk to her that much anymore because she lives in Virginia. I never meet someone I'm like, you need to meet my level of expectations for friend. That is Ayana, my best friend. Okay, I'm like rambling a lot. Essentially, I need to calm down. Essentially, I just have standards for friendship now. Okay, that part like annoyed me so bad, but Ayana is my best friend. She lives in Virginia, but I mean I'm in Mexico now, but she moved from Connecticut to Virginia. So we were RAs together, so we were around each other consistently for a year, and she's my best friend, and I'm her best friend, and I love her. So that part just annoyed me, because like, why do you need to say that? But it's whatever. So basically, to be like normal with it, I would never want someone else to meet her standard. I wouldn't want anyone to meet any type of standard other than my own baseline standards. I really want to meet new people. I really want to meet different people. But all in all, I want to meet like people that are genuinely for me. And even if I do end up moving back to the States, we wouldn't go there. It's hard. It's hard having someone that you're like this with, but they're not in a close vicinity. So I think I was upset about that and I didn't mention that. So that's why I'm mentioning it now. Because, yeah, I love that woman. I know myself. I know what I can provide to other people, friendship wise. I know what doesn't work with me, friendship wise. And generally, I just know I want to treat others how I would like to be treated, and I would like the same respect. I don't really think it's that hard. It's like, I, I don't know. It's just like, people are so stupid. And it's like, the people I was generally around are younger than me. Like, I'm 26. Yeah, people are stupid. Yes, that is a fact. I feel like this is a part where this is definitely something I reason with myself later. That's why it's so funny that I have this to see myself being erratic and delusional, but also be making valid points that I touch on later anyway. But why is it so hard? It is. People are complicated. Everybody's complicated. I'm complicated. You're complicated. It's hard. And when you want something good, you just gotta do what you gotta do to get it. It's just one of those harsh realities where it's like, you know what? You can always see people have all these friendships that you feel like look so great from the outside, but you are currently sitting with nothing and nobody, or at least it feels like that, because there's just a certain type of connection that you really want. It's really hard when you don't have what you really want at the moment, but that's why you can't want it in desperation, because you're gonna get what you want, but not really. The people I was around were like to 20s, 23. And it is different. You go through different stages in your 20s. All those puberties in your 20s, it's real. I am nowhere near the mindset I had when I was 21. Nowhere near. And I think that makes it different. But also, not for nothing, people are kind of shitty. It's just like, I'm also saying like a lot. I don't want that to be a part of my daily vocabulary. I don't think it is, but when I ramble and word vomit, it is. I feel like this conversation for me is easier to explain through story times on top of story times, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to dwell in old situations that do not serve me anymore. I actually have a story about this, but before I start there, last Sunday at church, no, that wasn't last Sunday, 2 Sundays ago, they were talking about forgiveness. And a part of forgiveness is not bringing up somebody negatively to somebody else, or making them look bad, and just like not acknowledging the thing you're upset about. So yes, I have a story, but I want to preface it's going to be the very short and condensed, and I'm slightly upset about it, but I don't want it to be slanderous or anything like that. I really am trying to work on forgiveness, so God favors me because he always forgives me and he loves the people I just would love not to forgive. He loves them, so I must love them. But anyway, I digress. So I'm going to share the story just for context so you know what I'm talking about, but I really have no slanderous intent. So basically, I had a friend. We are not friends anymore. And we had a falling out, whatever. We were friends on and off, whatever. So the last time we became friends, we were friends for like 1.5 years, and then we had a falling out, and we are officially not friends anymore. And that's okay. But I ended up, basically, long story short, I ended up on her Twitter because I saw she unfollowed me on Instagram. And I was still following her on stuff because, I mean, we weren't friends anymore, but I thought it was like, we were cool, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up seeing something she wrote about me on her Twitter. My name wasn't in it, but because of the timeline, the date it was, and I knew exactly what she was referencing, I was like, oh, this is about me. I cried. After that happened, I was really upset about it for a minute. I cannot lie. But I also did realize, like, hey, That's not how I want to be. That's not what I want to do. Yeah, I understand the situation with us, like, left whatever taste in her mouth, it left a taste in my mouth, but I also am not interested in publicly shaming anybody. And I use that example because it's the most recent one I can think of. And even after she said that, I never did anything with malicious intent to slight her online, whatever. It was just like, well, that's not the type of person I want to be. And there's been so many people where it's just like, I would never. I feel like a part of not dwelling on the situation is just not talking about it, not putting energy into it. And sometimes when you get upset, of course you're going to bring it up, but the less you are able to do that, the better you will feel. It was really interesting that that was brought up and he said all that, because it's like, you know what, when I think about it and I'm realizing it in this moment, I really haven't talked about her negatively at all since that happened. And I don't feel like I have any negative feelings towards her. It's just like, you know what? You are a person that I really loved, really cared about, and we're not friends. We did not work, we do not mesh, and that's okay. That's okay. I have no ill will towards her. I have no ill intent towards her, and I don't want that. I really wish the best for her, but when it comes to everybody, I don't want any ill intent for anybody. And the less you are able to dwell, the better you'll feel about everything, and the more you'll be able to view everything you went through with certain people as lessons that needed to be had, or do not align with the attitude I'm trying to uphold. I'm not trying to be a bitter baby mama about it, okay? I'm really not trying to do that. But this situation, I am coming to terms with it, and I think it's at the end point now. The reason it has bubbled up for me again is because I'm moving out of the country and realizing that I'm leaving behind nobody. I don't have a relationship with my family, in my opinion. I don't have friends really that I'm leaving behind. Probably like in my opinion, people that would actually care, 2 people. And the person that I would miss the most, we're moving together, which is my boyfriend. Okay, that's not true. Perspective also forces you not to be a dick to the people that care about you. That's not true. There's more than 2 people. I was just upset with the current situation. I have plenty of people that love and care about me. Thank you. But I will say it really did hurt my feelings at the time to feel like nobody really cared and that I was leaving behind nobody. Like, that feels crazy, like moving to a new country and you see, like, when you see that happen for other people, it's just like, wow, like, people like want to see them, people throw a going away party for them, people do blah blah blah, but then it's just crickets. But also, a part of that goes into comparison. Comparison is a thief of joy. I mean, I was already going through a very shitty, icky situation. I also did not need to compare myself to other people. It added insult to injury. Really shitty. It feels really shitty. It's like, I hate it here. I absolutely hate it here. And I wanted to leave the country for so long and just leave and feel like I'm living life in a place I want to be, and it was just never here. Never. And I just stayed here because I kind of had no choice. I went to the school I went to because I needed to leave home. I could not live there anymore. I had to go. I felt like so much stuff was just like based in survival, and now that I'm finally going, I just think about how there's really nothing here for me at all. Even people, there's no one here for me. Realizing that, all that stuff coming up again, all those feelings, it just really sucks. It makes me sad. And I'm just trying to focus on the good parts of being here. Like being able to improve the language. Or tying up loose ends, or blah blah blah. The forced positivity and the forced gratitude is so funny to me. I think you should always find a way to be grateful in a situation and find the good in a situation, but this was not the time to do it. It's so funny because it's like, I'm not gonna say it's toxic positivity. It might be, because let's be real. If you're really upset and you try to be grateful in the situation, like while you're currently feeling your feelings, at least I don't know if it's anybody else, but at least for me, I'm not listening to that shit. I'm not. I don't care. I'm not listening. I'm just trying to make myself not have a complete meltdown. So I'm saying what I need to say. That's what it kind of gives. That's what it kind of feels like. So I'm always an advocate for cry your eyes out. Maybe don't crash out if possible. Cry your eyes out. Scream. Preferably in a basement somewhere. Maybe a pillow. Pick your poison. When I am going through a tough situation, in the moment, the positivity isn't for me. I just need to cry. I need to cry. Sometimes you need to cry, you need to be sad, you need to tweak a little to get to the other side. So this was me trying to be positive. It didn't work. I cried about this situation much more. Just trying to find the positive, but I think that's also part of moving on to the next era of your life. Coming into your purpose and becoming the person you want to be. Whenever people talk about, I feel like I literally just regurgitated what I've heard online here. So take with that what you will. And I'm not saying it's not true or valid things to say, but it goes into the I'm really forcing a narrative for myself. And I know I am, because I do that. And it's just like, this is not what you need to be telling yourself right now. Yeah. I mean, go off, queen. It's like, I didn't need to be regurgitating TikTok slang. I needed to get deep in the nitty gritty and figure out why I was hurting so bad. Not offset it with positive language that I am just repeating. To truly become the person you want to be, it's always rough and awful. And the way I've just gone through emotional turmoil, I think it's worth it. That part was valid though. When you are becoming the next version of yourself, it's gonna suck. It always sucks. I went through a couple periods like this because, puberty, 20s. It really is awful every single time. And every single time I think I'm gonna die. I'm really excited. But the way I like to look at it, as in, someone said this about theater. It's like paying your dues. All this bullshit is paying your dues for the next chapter. Paying your dues for the good shit to come. You gotta go through the trenches. People don't get it. This is the trenches. However, you see how all these feelings arise from one thing, and that was people not liking my story. People that were my community, my friends at one point. That's the other thing. I'm very selective with the word friend now. Yeah, the Instagram thing, it was less like everybody on there was my friends. It was just that, with the people I had on Instagram, because, for a lot of us, it's not like random people follow us, it's just people we've met, people we know, so it feels like a community thing. And then once one thing starts feeling weird, another thing starts feeling weird, then everybody on there starts feeling weird, because a lot of the people I met through the group of people I was referencing in this video, and that was just weird and icky, and I didn't like it. Yeah. I never liked the word acquaintance. I need to put that back in my vocabulary. So many people are my acquaintances, and that's okay. It's okay to distinct these things. You don't need to be nice about everything. You don't need to be welcoming about everything. Having this distinction, she ate with that, because I really did not like calling people an acquaintance just because I did not like being referred to as an acquaintance. I really just don't do to other people what I don't like done to me. But the thing is, I need to call it what it is. A spade is a spade is a spade, because a lot of the people in my past in general that I have ever felt affected by were literally straight up acquaintances, and it was literally never that deep. But when you don't set those boundaries, even if it's as simple as a title, feelings get hurt, things get weird, because it's like, if I'm treating someone like a good friend but they're literally an acquaintance, there's gonna be hurt feelings from my side. You wouldn't treat a casual going out friend like a best friend. It's different standards, different things you do with different people, and that's okay. You can have different people you do different things with, and people that you're friends with for different reasons. Not everyone can be an all-encompassing being for you. Okay? I don't think calling someone an acquaintance is mean. I used to, but that was when I was a child in the early 20s, might as well have been an infant. But it's not mean, it's just reality. And now I would never just be like, oh, this is my acquaintance. I just don't like the word. It's just like, ugh. We're cool, but in the back of my head, I'm like, we're acquaintances. We are cool. I can talk to them when I see them, but it's not more than that, and that's okay. I can hi bye, talk to them in group settings, sit with them awkwardly when the main person goes to the bathroom and we know each other because of that person, all good. But you don't treat an acquaintance like a close friend or a best friend. If I just did that, there would have been so many hurt feelings avoided in my lifetime. Of these things is actually a boundary. I should have been calling more people my acquaintance. Even though I didn't like that word, for me personally, this was more of a boundary for myself. I should have been setting the boundary with myself to call it what it was. I would have avoided so much hurt feelings if I said people that I consider acquaintances now, that they were my acquaintances, because they were. Let's call it what it is, baby. Anyway, I feel I have much love to give. I feel like I want to share happiness with others. I want to be able to celebrate things with others. And I don't want to waste my energy on people that do not care about that. But anyway, so yeah, I deleted Instagram. That's all I have to say. In conclusion, this was reminiscent. Is that the right word? I was going to say reminiscent of a crash out. I don't know. It sounds right in my head, so we're going to go with that. I hope someone somewhere was able to take something away from my mess. As far as this, how I feel about the situation now, like I said, I am slightly terrified of making new friends. However, I do have an immense amount of faith in God always, and I know He's going to put the right people in my life when I'm ready for it and when I'm deserving of it. It's the same way with dating someone. Like, you want a really good person for yourself, and you want them to be this and that, but does that good person deserve you? Like, do they deserve your mess? And I'm not saying I'm a mess right now, but it could certainly be spruced up a little bit. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys liked it. Please let me know what you think. Please let me know your thoughts. And also, if you like how I did this Amberlynn Reed reaction channel style, to myself though, I'm my favorite little cow, so it only makes sense. But let me know what you think. Anyway, thanks for watching.